Hi, I'm Mimi Chan. Welcome to Culture Chat. Thanks for joining the conversation. "2020 is a milestone year for Wah Lum Kung Fu of USA. We celebrate 50 years since my father began his teachings in America, and the Wah Lum Temple also celebrates the 40th anniversary in Orlando, Florida. In honor of these milestones, I produced a one-of-a-kind virtual Kung Fu exhibition featuring Grandmaster Pui Chan and the Wah Lum Temple demo team. In this episode, Oscar Agamante and I discuss all of the events surrounding the 50th anniversary of Wah Lum Kung Fu of USA. Save the date, November 7, Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the world premiere of the Wah Lum Kung Fu 50th anniversary virtual exhibition. I'm loving these conversations and hope you are too. If you are, please rate my podcast on your platform of choice and share it with others. If you would like to support with a donation to help keep this podcast going, I would appreciate it. You can become a patron of the show by visiting my website or patreon.com. For comments or suggestions, email me at mimi@culturechatpodcast.com or reach out on social media at SifuMimiChan. Now on with the show. Hi, welcome to Culture Chat. Very excited. We are doing video today. It's not actually often we do video, but I am here with my very, very favorite co-host, Oscar Agamante.
Thank you for having me on this video podcast.
Video and audio for those of you who are listening in the audio sphere. So obviously we are representing a lot of Wah Lum love today.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, as many of you know who have been following us on social media, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Wah Lum Kung Fu of USA, which marks the anniversary of when my father basically officially started Wah Lum and teaching here in the United States. And of course, that spread to worldwide. But in addition, there's more. It is the 40th anniversary of the Wah Lum Temple, the first Kung Fu temple in the USA being built, and again, established by Grandmaster Chan and my mom, Master Susie Chan. They together kind of built this temple, and it is now a landmark for, martial artists around the world, but it is also the 40th anniversary of the Wah Lum Temple as well.
So there's a lot going on in 2020. And I think
Yes.
the purpose of this podcast is really to talk about the 50th and 40th anniversaries, respectively, and what has been going on around them.
Absolutely. Yeah. So obviously this year was a bit of a bummer because we are all suffering together. We are all struggling together, some more than others, but definitely COVID-19 hit in March earlier than March, but officially in the US. And it has definitively put a damper on a lot of really special events for a lot of people, but specifically for Wah Lum, we should have been celebrating in Boston in May with a show and a banquet and just a celebration of all of the Wah Lum family up there and around the world coming together to just kind of honor my father and my mom and their accomplishments and just kind of have this really big celebration. And of course that was put on hold. We're like, we don't know what's going on. And then over the summer, it was very evident that the 40th anniversary at the Wah Lum Temple, we were going to have a big tournament,
right,
where all the students of Wah Lum only would be coming from around the world to participate, gather together to celebrate and just kind of, be a family together. And also we were going to have a really big show, another theatrical production, which for those of you who are Wah Lum followers know 35th anniversary at the Wah Lum Temple, we did Journey to the West.
Which was very exciting. So a lot of things didn't happen the way that they were planned, or that they were supposed to go. And so because this is for posterity, be honest. How do you feel?
Nice. Double points for Oscar for quoting The Princess Bride, my favorite film of all time, and also making it relevant to what we were talking about. But I, at first, was really frustrated, like everybody else, I think, going through all of the things that we're being faced with, these challenges, and just pivoting the business alone, like having students not be able to come in and train when we were under quarantine, and then trying to pivot to virtual classes. And we were just inundated as business owners, small business owners, with so many different challenges, and trying to also wrap our heads around what is that going to mean for all these celebrations that I've planned for over a year. So anybody who knows me knows I kind of plan in advance. Right. And so basically, we had planned out all of these different celebrations and gatherings, and of course that just constantly kept being put on hold. So for me though, personally, I do believe I thrive in crisis mode, and so I immediately just kind of tackle and try to figure out what I can do. And so like you said, there's a lot of things we couldn't do. In addition to the celebrations, one of the things that we really like to do at Wah Lum is we raise money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. That is our favorite charity. I think to date we are at over $30,000, and every time we have one of these big gatherings, any special events, we often try to continue that tally and just keep raising the funds for a very good cause. As many of you know, my mom, Master Susie Chan, she had breast cancer. She's in remission. She's done remarkable, but she really does believe in the work that St. Jude does. And so we would normally do a fundraiser. And so what I thought was, obviously May came and went, and we were focusing on keeping Wah Lum going, keeping the schools running, keeping our students healthy and doing classes. And then I thought it was just such a downer for my dad to not have had these celebrations after having worked so hard and had put in his entire life, basically. And this was really going to be one of the pinnacles of that celebration of all the achievements that he's done in terms of bringing Chinese martial arts to the world, specifically America. And I thought it would be really cool if everything's gone by the way of Zoom in terms of classes, in terms of school, in terms of meetings. I thought it would be really cool if we could do some sort of virtual showcase, a virtual exhibition to surprise him and honor him.
Right. And so I guess there's always a positive or the silver lining, and that is that we have the technology that allows us to then move forward, right? Not just with the business, but also with the celebrations of the 50th anniversary. This wouldn't have been possible if we were on lockdown 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, right? Definitely not. Definitely not. Just the communication alone with coordinating amongst other schools, but also collaboration, and then the technology in terms of how accessible video cameras are and how accessible and easy it is to kind of be able to make a quality film. I mean, I did make a film of about 8 or 9 years ago now already, and that was a challenge in itself. I feel like I've learned a lot from then, and I was able to apply a lot of that knowledge to this project that I've taken on, but it was still a lot more than I anticipated.
All right, so let's talk about then the project that is almost complete. That is
10% more to go.
Soon to be released.
Any indie filmmaker knows what I'm talking about now. And I'm like, oh, we only have 10% more. We're almost there. We're almost there. I mean, the thing about it is any kind of project, it can be never ending because it's art, right? So we have to just kind of close it out. But we will be showcasing this on November 7th. So no matter what, it'll be ready by then.
So then the thought process was, let's honor you, Grandmaster Chan, Master Susie, with what they've accomplished with bringing Wah Lum to the world. And what happened?
Well, there was a few things. One was I did want to do the fundraiser. I wanted, of course, do the St. Jude awareness and raise money. And so in order to do that, I wanted to make sure I had enough promotion time to let people know, hey, this is coming out, follow us, look at the behind the scenes stuff. But at the same time, this is a surprise for my parents. Right. So they did not know we were filming this. They did not know we were going to make this. They did not know we were going to have any kind of celebration for the 50th anniversary. And so we basically had to do this under wraps.
Yeah, which means your father, Master Chan, coming to the temple early and staying relatively late. Mm-hmm. So let's say he gets there at 7. He doesn't want to leave till about 4. Then we have classes going on. So what did that mean for the scheduling?
Yeah, the scheduling was an immense challenge, and a huge shout out to the Wah Lum Temple demo team who obviously worked around this. Not only are the instructors at the schools, they help run the classes, but in addition, we literally were filming and rehearsing from about 8:30 or 9 at night till sometimes midnight. And of course, that meant almost every weekend for a couple months were consumed with this. And at first I thought, oh, I'll just do a really simple show. Right. I'll just do a showcase. We do showcases all the time. We do stage shows. It'll be a quick 10-minute thing. We'll do a little lion. We'll do a little kung fu. We'll film it. One day of filming will be good. And of course, I tend to get a little ambitious.
Yeah.
And, I immediately realized all of the vision I had in my head for what I wanted this show to be, we would need to start filming immediately. And that was pretty much in August. And that gave us a deadline of being done with filming and production by October. So it gave us a solid month of post. And so that meant we had to squeeze in, all of our rehearsal / filming all at once. So luckily the Temple demo team's always ready to go and they're performance ready. And that's the Kung Fu lesson, right? Is always be ready. Don't wait until you have a tournament or a show or an event. Like if you're always practicing and training, you'll be ready when the time comes. So literally from a choreography standpoint, our team was learning choreography and then immediately filming it, you know?
Right. Which I can attest to is challenging, and in addition, doing it after a long day. Some of our instructors and some of the demo team members have their full-time job, then they come and help teach, and then it was time to then do the filming, the learning, and the filming.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I have just immense appreciation for their hard work, but also more than that, what's really shown through here in this is the love for Wah Lum and the respect and the wish and desire to honor Grandmaster Chan and the whole Wah Lum system, and to have put their heart and souls into this project, because this is all volunteer. And a huge, huge shout out, of course, to my camera crew who literally was all volunteer based. So the beauty of this project is we're doing a fundraiser for charity. We're doing it to honor Grandmaster Chan, the 50th anniversary of Wah Lum. From the students, shout out to Ellis who made this lovely logo, to all of the Temple demo team members, our camera crew, everybody who put effort into this project did so on a volunteer basis. So they did this out of the goodness and love for Wah Lum, goodness of their heart. And it means so much more. Because I could have hired a professional camera crew to come in. I could have hired people to edit the project. But, you know, Jeremy and, Flores was with me through pretty much, even as we film this today, we are still going. Jeremy is one of my co-editors as well as visual effects. And it has just been hundreds of hours of work. And the fact that they all did this from a volunteer standpoint and because they love Wah Lum just shows how much the system has just reached out and touched so many people's lives, because that's their wanting to give back and wanting to kind of show that honor and respect.
Right. And I think it wouldn't really be a Wah Lum Temple project if it wasn't it's always professionally executed without professionals. Right. So there's an expectation for how the project comes out, but no one's really a professional in doing that. Right. No one's like no one's really trained in cinematography and editing and visual effects. It's like, it's volunteer based, but it's also,
talent.
Yeah, luckily you have the talent, the desire, and even when it comes to the choreography, right? Like the kung fu part, to make that look a certain way in film is different. So I don't know. It seems to me that this is a recurring theme. Professionally looking projects without professionals.
Yeah. And again, so my awesome camera crew and cinematographers, so Jeremy and Carl is, I would consider him a professional photographer, but he's never done video. And so I was like, well, I think we can apply it. And this is the beauty of Kung Fu, which is, before I've had the Kung Fu podcast and we do Kung Fu Pod. And the point of that is being able to take Kung Fu and apply that to your daily life, right? So it's just that hard work ethic and that knowledge of, if you can do something here, you're able to take that and apply it to something very similar or even different, right? So I apply my Kung Fu to the choreography and the vision of it and bringing it all together and even learning how to edit. I wasn't trained in that. It's just something I did. I was fortunate that, everybody that was involved, I would say, are professional hobbyists, right? So they have like regular lives and from nurses to doctors to, students full-time to engineers to all sorts of different professions. So, but in this project, they took on kind of different roles that they don't, like you said, do as their actual profession. But again, I think it's just that love for the project, but also love for those professional hobbies. And it really just came together. I mean, we're really fortunate, even down to some of the grip work, like having to figure out lighting and having to figure out, okay, will this, banner, will this be able to stay up? All these props and different things that we incorporated. It was kind of amazing how everybody's talent shines through, right? So like the drum line, they get it together. They haven't been rehearsing in a while. They were able to get it together and get their drum line back together, led by Jason and our awesome drum team. So it's awesome that everybody is able to step up. And like you said, after a full day of their already busy lives, plus families, and we had crew members coming on their birthday to hang out with us all day, and so it was so moving to me, and I'm still really overwhelmed and unbelievably grateful that we have the Wah Lum family members that we do to just put so much energy. I mean, it's not just the hours, right? It is the hours, the energy, but like just the love for the project and for hopefully what everybody's going to enjoy.
Yeah. And I think it'll show through in the project when people see that. Maybe they won't see all the tears that went behind the scenes.
The blood, sweat, and tears, because there were definitely all three.
Right. And so the next thing then is, what is this demonstration, a visual, virtual, online demonstration, completely different. What would be your expectations? Like, this happens, Mimi's happy. What is that?
Oh man, that's pretty tough, as being married to me, that as soon as one thing ends, I'm immediately like striving for that next one. So today I'll be really happy when we close the project out, we upload it, we're ready for the world premiere. We can share that link with everyone. By the time this podcast is released, that world premiere link will be available right here for you to click on and just count down with us, because it'll be about 4 days out to the performance time. I think I'll be really happy if it's really well received, if we have a great turnout at the world premiere, if we meet our fundraising goal for St. Jude, which is a modest goal of $3,000. We're already 39% of the way there. If we blow that goal out, and I wouldn't be lying if by next weekend, well, by the time this is out, so this is going to be out on a Tuesday. So by this weekend, if we are all just a little kinder to one another, because, the election will be over regardless of what happens. I think we have something positive to watch on Saturday. I think we have something motivating and inspiring that stemmed from the seed that was planted by someone who literally had to swim here, had to escape a communist regime, had to go through so many perils and challenges in life, from discrimination to poverty, to live out what is the American dream, and to have that immigrant experience, and knowing that what we're all going to enjoy from an artistic standpoint comes from that place of hardship, and that it's meant to be something that's inspiring and beautiful
And if everyone could just turn off the news for an hour and just hang out with us and enjoy a really cool Kung Fu show, I think that'll be awesome.
Okay. So that small feat, right? Pretty simple and straightforward. So this is premiering November 7th.
Yes.
And
2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern, Standard Time.
And so there's a show part, and then what else is going to be? What else is happening?
Yeah, so anybody who donates to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital through our special link will be getting a secret access to a round table where myself, I believe you're moderating, and a bunch of Wah Lum Sifus from around the world want to kind of come together and just discuss not necessarily the history of Wah Lum, but what it's kind of meant to them, impressions of Grandmaster Chan, things that they've, anecdotes and things that they've had through these 50 years of history. And they're just going to really get to kind of come along board, ask questions. We do take the questions in advance, so they are curated for efficiency, but basically as long as you donate even $1, you'll be able to participate and kind of be involved in that. And being that you and I have been able to sit into some really cool roundtables, I totally stole the idea from the Princess Bride reunion from Carrie Elwes, so shout out. That was amazing. And I thought it would be a really great thing for martial art enthusiasts, especially even if you're not a Wah Lum member. So many people have come into contact with Grandmaster Chan, and so many people are what we consider Kung Fu family. And so we definitely hope you come along for the ride as well, because I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Right. So this is, again, just a different opportunity to present and to celebrate 50 years of Wah Lum.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who say, 2020, this year sucks, but I'm not really a big believer in saying that, because there's that philosophy of, okay, these are the things that have happened. It's how do you react to it, right? And so I think the reaction that you've had to 2020 has been very positive. We have this virtual exhibition that's happening, but there's been a couple of other events that were also supposed to happen in 2020. One of them is, for those who don't know, if you are a certified Wah Lum Sifu, you have to recertify every 3 years in order to maintain that. So that's something else that we weren't able to come in.
Yeah, that was actually supposed to happen at the 50th celebration, leading up to the 50th celebration in Boston. So we were actually taking it back to the roots of Boston, and we're going to have our tri-annual test, I guess you call it. Yeah, we're going to have our test there where all the Sifus come together, and it's such an enriching weekend, as you can attest to.
Yeah, so that complete, especially for those who've been to those certifications, it's like, oh man, we're missing out. For someone like Sifu Bob Rosen, who's in Boston, who's been with Master Chan for so long as a student of his, and has carried on that legacy in New England, I feel for it. Like that would have been really great. But and then another unfortunate is for the new students, right? The newly certified Sifus who are looking forward to doing that. However, what happened?
Well, basically, I realized as we were coming through the summer that this was not going to be over anytime soon, and in order to at least have a collaborative effort, and my thought process is always this: like, the closer we stay together and stick together, the misery loves company kind of thing, but like the better off we're all going to be able to get through this together. I really do believe we're in this together. I know it sounds very cliche, but I don't believe that if you just shut down and get angry and frustrated, that's going to do yourself or your business any good. And so I immediately was trying to have as many meetings with the Sifus as possible. And like I said, like Zoom got our money right away. Basically we were immediately in contact and trying to kind of figure out what needs to happen. And so our thought process was, instead of having the big to-do test, we would have like what I would call a mini test, a mini check-in point. So thanks to Sifu Bob, Sifu George, Sifu 2, we decided we would do a mini checkpoint test in the fall. And so by July to August, we pretty much were like, okay, we're going to spend a couple hours with each Sifu so that they could keep their school going, so that they could feel that we were giving them kind of that attention and being able to collaborate and learn together, because we may be administering the test, but by no means is it not a learning experience for us as well. Those who are helping do the testing and proctoring, and Grandmaster Chan also sat through hours and hours and hours of the test in order to make sure that he has that watchful eye over all of the Sifus, and so that we can still maintain the standard of Wah Lum, because COVID-19 does not stop the standard of Wah Lum from keeping to the high standard that we want to keep it to. So we weren't going to allow that to happen. And basically, from March to August, so many things happened for Wah Lum and to kind of get together. And then August, September, like we just went into filming right away. And so a lot of people have told me that, I don't feel productive as I want to be. I don't feel and I get it. By no means do I think that everybody should be following my suit, because I'm exhausted right now. But at the same time, I feel that sense of responsibility, because it's the 50th, because it's the 40th here, because my father has put in all of this time. I didn't want him to not have, be honored. And I didn't want the Sifus to also not have their moment of their time. Because as a Sifu, you don't get time for yourself. All of your time is for your students. And when we go to the Sifu test, it's completely about you guys. It's completely about your training, your betterment, your enrichment. You get to be a student again, which is such a gift. I mean,
Absolutely. I think as someone who loves continuing education, it's been unfortunate to not have the in-person part of it. But, we've been inundated with the potential and the opportunity for online, for communication online. So that is definitely a positive. And I think being able to sit in and see some of those online tests from the sidelines, on both sides, there was a high level of satisfaction, right, and appreciation. So I think that was, from my opinion, a success. So we have, the certification for recertifications for 2020. We have the 40th anniversary of Wah Lum, and we have the 50th anniversary of the Wah Lum Temple and the 50th anniversary of Wah Lum. So for the 40th anniversary of the Wah Lum, since this is where we're at, of the temple, this is my thought of it, is I look at it and say, wow, Wah Lum is still thriving, and even through COVID and everything else, and that has a lot to do with the things that you put into place. So what does the 40th anniversary of Wah Lum Temple mean? I look at it and go, wow, since every time I drive in, and we call it the Wah Lum campus, the Wah Lum compound. Mm-hmm. And I feel a huge sense of pride. So, and your dad is there every morning. So, he can't stay away, right? So what do you feel about that 40th anniversary of the Wah Lum Temple? Yeah,
it's my home. I think I've spent more hours at the Wah Lum Temple than any house I've ever lived in. And that's kind of following suit from my father, I think, but also it's where I remember growing up. So my fondest memories of just being a child is usually at the temple. It's not really school-based. I don't actually think about, I was on the playground with so-and-so. Like usually it was running around the temple with whatever students were hanging out and doing Kung Fu events and Chinese New Year. And so the sense of pride I have that I have been privileged to continue this tradition and to take that ball and just keep running with it. The one that literally, my father ran and kicked really, really far, and I'm just trying to keep it going. It's just such a privilege, and it's amazing to see, even through such a challenging and debilitating time for so many people, what the hardships they're having, how many new students we still have signing up, how many people are still interested in their health, their well-being. I think even more now than ever going, I need to do something for me. Here's something I've always wanted to do, or I know I need to take care of my health right now. My immune system is, at risk. And we're so fortunate at the temple that this sounds horrible, but like we're practically set up for a COVID-19 training system where you have mostly outdoor training. We have a huge compound/campus. So we're able to physical distance. We're able to kind of implement our rules for safety and everyone's health and awareness. It is amazing to walk in on a daily basis, even now, and it's easy to take it for granted. Like, oh, we've got class. There's a bunch of students here. Whereas I know a lot of wonderful martial arts schools around the country that have shut down because of COVID. And I do not take that for granted, that we still have support from our local community, that we still have people who want to learn a traditional Kung Fu system in this modern world amidst a pandemic. Like, that alone sums up, yeah, this is 40 years in the making. It's because of that first ground. My parents said, no, we're going to break ground right here in Orlando. We want this land. We want to be able to do this. If we were, in Boston, it would be very different. They're having a huge set of challenges. They don't have the space. They can't facilitate more than 5 people at a time in our, Chinatown location, whereas we could probably have 30 because we've got the parking lot. Florida, all year round, we can train outside, even in the rain sometimes. But so it's such a milestone, and I have such a sense of pride that I'm actually glad we're sitting down, because I don't usually stop to think about that and to enjoy that moment, because I'm a little bit of a go kind of person. So it's actually the first time I'm sitting down and really thinking about that. And it's extremely meaningful, and I feel extremely privileged to be a part of it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And it's easy to do when you're there with Master Chan there.
Because he will not be beat.
Yeah, he will never lose. But even something as simple as there's a stone tablet in, if you're looking at the temple and you go to the left, he says, I did this, I put this stone, and I painted this, and he'll repaint that every few years, and then he'll clear the area, and in the morning, especially with this nice weather, there are times where I'm there and literally I have the early morning class. It's still dark when I'm training suppliants, and then I'll step outside and it's the sunlight, and it's just all the sun's coming in there. Master Chan is like probably finished clearing, done his daily yard work, his lawn care routine, and cleared up a lot of stuff, and you're just looking, and you literally can do a 360-degree turn and say, wow, this is all something that they built, that your parents built. And it's amazing. It's amazing that it's standing. It reminds, the reason I bring it up is because I had a client this morning actually say, yeah, we went down to West Palm Beach and we had a plan to go to this restaurant that we always go to, and it was closed. And I was thinking, man, that's unfortunate. How many, not just restaurants, but small businesses have gone through that. And the temple has had the perseverance to still thrive. We're busier than ever. It feels so that we're busier than ever.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is we are busy because we've had to put in so many more protocols. We've had to do a lot more planning. So on one hand, from the business standpoint, we're just super busy trying to keep things going. On the other hand, we do have a lot of people who have such an interest. But again, it's because of the groundwork of Grandmaster Chan and Master Susie Chan going, hey, we're going to build this. This is going to be ours. We're not going to go to a strip mall and rent for 30 years. Like they put their life on the line for this. They put up, they got their SBA loan. They did so many things. They literally put all their chips into the Wah Lum Temple, like everything they had. And what they didn't have, right? They had to take out a loan. So those of you who haven't seen Pui Chan Kung Fu Pioneer, do so now so that you can get the history. But, and that just shows that like all that hard work and perseverance, but that vision of what they did then, I don't think they even could have imagined a situation where, oh, this would have been perfect. This is going to be perfect for something like COVID-19. I don't think that was in their thought, but I think they just had enough of a vision that they built something that would be, life, very withstanding and could stand the test of time. And we think about our history of Wah Lum and Grandmaster Lei Quan Shan, who is my father's master would never have imagined Wah Lum Kung Fu of USA, of Brazil, of Switzerland, of Germany, of, all the different cities around the US. He was just trying to like get sweet potatoes and teach a little Kung Fu in his village. So it's just interesting, like with each generation, how much vision is put in and how much this has grown and really become a part of, the Central Florida culture for sure. But I mean, I think even worldwide, this is a complete tangent, weird tangent on Culture Chat ever. That's so strange. But, we were in China and we met a school from South America.
Right.
And you were talking to them because, of course, Spanish ambassador.
Yeah, that was interesting because we were in China. I was talking to them, and then I said, "Oh, let me get my wife, Mimi Chan," and they were like, "The Sifu Mimi Chan," right? And it's because they had read about Grandmaster Chan and the Wah Lum history and about you, and so you and your father were like celebrities to them. It was like, I think they were from Peru or something.
Yeah, it was so random. Like, we're in China, 2018, and they knew who we were, right? And this is just generations and generations apart of training, and maybe they saw a magazine from back in the day, but it's just so crazy because it's such a random thing, and that just shows the reach of Wah Lum and what my father has really brought to the world of Chinese martial arts and how respected he is by his peers and by so many practitioners. And that's why it's such a privilege to be a part of. But it's kind of an interesting thing because on one hand, if we had our show, we would get our 1,000 people watching.
Right.
And that's it. No one else would ever get to see the show because we don't usually produce it to share with our audiences afterward. And so it's satisfying because you get that immediate gratification. You get the immediate, this is the whole film versus stage thing, right? You get that immediate response. You feel the love. It's a huge celebration. There's a sense of relief because it's over. But that's all that gets to share in it. And so on another hand, this virtual exhibition, very different experience, a very different work ethic and very different planning experience. But on the other hand, it's going to be perpetual, right? So if someone's not available on November 7,
you can still watch
my heart won't be broken, but you'll still be able to watch it. You'll still be able to donate to St. Jude. You'll still be able to see part of the Wah Lum history. You'll still be able to enjoy it and like it and comment and tell us like, oh, yay, good job, guys. And that's pretty cool because this is what 2020 has brought us to, right?
Yeah, so there's thinking of the, reaching all the way to Peru from China and all this is like these branches that are reaching out, and it makes me think of our discussion on the Wah Lum Temple and this kind of open compound and how beautiful that is. But then I think of almost the mirror image of that, which is the Wah Lum of Boston Chinatown, led by Sifu Bob Rosen, which is a very small, compact, but perfectly organized
everything
space.
In its place.
Everything in its space. Almost, it's hard to think of it, to phrase it, but it's this. It's almost like an antique that's been preserved by Sifu Bob, and then it's always like being buffed and shine, and you walk in there, and again everything's in its own place, but at the same time it has this rich history of being there, and you can feel like, okay, this is where Master Chan's planted his roots. And so I don't know if there's anything to add to that. It's just more this thought process of the 40th anniversary Wah Lum Temple, the Wah Lum Temple compound, this big spot, and then 50th anniversary of Wah Lum in USA, which started in Boston, and it's being maintained there by Sifu Bob Rosen, and has this kind of a smaller, compact, super organized version of the Wah Lum Temple in there. Like the heart of Wah Lum is in Sifu Bob, right? Mm-hmm. And so I don't know where I was going with that. It's just more of this visual thing.
Well, I think what's kind of amazing, and it's something I love to share with students around anniversary time. Of course, we're representing our 50th anniversary stuff because it's beautiful and it's artistic. It's what we're doing. I have my book here, so I do have the logo. But the Wah Lum logo is on our t-shirts, right? And so this is what we see when we do class. Like everybody wears the same shirt, and Wah Lum schools around the world, around class time, whether it's a morning class or night class, of course, when you cross time zones, it changes. But the coolest thing is it's almost as if like you could just listen and you hear bison, and there's a ton of other Wah Lum family members doing exactly what you're doing. They're lining up. There's incense that are lit. We bow in to start the class and honor the ancestors and take a moment for ourselves to say, okay, we're living in this tradition and we're respecting. And then we all yibe, we hoima, and then it's on, right? Like, and we all are doing that. We're wearing the same Wah Lum logo. We've got this representation. We're connected, and we all are experiencing that together across time zones, across the oceans. And that's very unique. There are a lot of amazing martial systems out there for sure, but there is something very unique and specific about the Wah Lum system that my father has honed and really taken and systemized, because of course, like I said, my grandmaster, he was just trying to, get into his next bowl of rice. He was a bodyguard. This was a like by the living type of thing. He didn't imagine that there would be schools upon schools and generations of learning, right? Mm-hmm. This is something specific to Grandmaster Chan and what he's brought to the world of martial arts, but the world of Wah Lum Kung Fu specifically. So I always kind of get a little bit of the chills. And my favorite part of the exhibition that we would have had on stage is where we have a few members from every school and they do Wah Lum First Form together. Right. And that just kind of shows it doesn't matter where you are. If you're a Wah Lum member, you're able to perform together in a collaborative effort with pretty much no rehearsal. In 2015, we showed that when we did Journey to the West. Like that whole performance was a collaborative effort across oceans, and we were able to do it with a 1 hour rehearsal. And it was like completely insane. It worked. It was completely insane. And this is a little different. Unfortunately, with the time constraints, I wasn't able to kind of do it as big as that in terms of the virtual show, but I definitely think we are showcasing the best of Wah Lum in terms of the artistry, the beauty of it, and the hard work part of it that's gone into this. And so I definitely hope everybody enjoys it. And of course, we have our 50th anniversary book.
Right. So let's start kind of wrapping up with a recap of all the things that are available to you, dear listener and viewer, of that's coming up. We have in November 7th, the 50th anniversary show online at 2 p.m. Mm-hmm. Followed immediately by a roundtable, I guess, moderated by me, with Wah Lum Seepers from around the world, answering questions specifically related to the history of Wah Lum. We have some Wah Lum swag.
Wah Lum swag. Right? Can't go without the Wah Lum swag.
This
is not available.
This is not available, but this logo print is on the shirt.
We've got some cool stickers, and we've got the Wah Lum 50th anniversary book. So those of you who are around for the 35th anniversary, there's just a wealth of pictures and a wonderful timeline. This is meant to be a continuation of that. It will do some recap, but this is definitely meant to be supplementary to the 35th anniversary. And it is a beautiful hardcover book with a lot of historical pictures, and Grandmaster Chan loves photos, and so he has a plethora of them. But it does take you up to our current day of 2020, and it takes us to just kind of a little recap of the history, and it's just great memorabilia to have. And if you get these things, you will, be supporting Wah Lum. So we would appreciate that. And of course, please donate to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital so you can join that secret roundtable. Right. And just if you missed the show, then make sure you log on later. We'll be linking that world premiere link here. But if you do it during the world premiere time, you can comment and chat with us while we're watching the show together, and you can immediately hit play again because you're going to be so wowed.
You're going to want to watch it.
You're going to watch it. Yes. Right. You're just going to be so...
After you pick your jaw up off the ground. So actually, being in the show during the rehearsals and being exhausted.
And hungry.
Another a quick tangent is there's a certification that I do. It's called the Strong First Kettlebell Cert. It's 3 days intense certification.
Yeah.
You train all this time for it. You go through the certification, and at the end, you're sick of it. You're like, I don't want to see another kettlebell. But at the end, but then you go home and you rest, and then you immediately are like, man, that was an awesome experience. And you immediately start implementing all the stuff that you learned. Mm-hmm. This is a longer version of that. It's like you're just doing it and doing it and doing it, and then I know for the quote unquote performers, once they were done, I know they were really happy to be done.
Yes.
The
cast and crew were we also had so we didn't mention this, but we had a celebration for Grandmaster Chan, Master Susie, and CJ Tina. We surprised them, and we actually premiered the performance, a little sneak peek.
This is where I was going to it is they were, I know, they're troopers. They weren't saying it. They were sick of it.
They were
like,
so
I'm
hard,
done
yes.
of it, right? And the post-production team is going through that right now.
We're still going through that.
And once
who was done, also in production. It's not like a new crew. We're nonstop.
They're going through that as well. But when you see the finished product, you're like, this is awesome. And when you get to experience it with other people, so my recommendation would be, if possible, if you're living with someone, if you have family or friends, to watch it together. And if you're not physically with them, know that if you do it at 2 p.m., your experience will be better because you're doing it in a larger community.
Yeah, some of our schools have mentioned that they're going to have a physical distance like showing at the school. They're going to do it all together so they can kind of experience that together. So that's really cool idea. I think our Melbourne school is doing that. So I heard that was happening. I thought that was really neat. And I think that's great. And, but yeah, it's definitely meant to be enjoyed and shared.
So I guess my last thing is themes that I've heard a lot is gratitude, love, respect, coming together, and really none of this would have been possible without the people who came before, right? Your father, Master Chan, has said in speeches before, I'm really proud, but I also know that I never did this alone. I always had help. Like we always had people either that we are standing on their shoulders, right, from the work that they've done before, or we're all like kind of holding hands together and doing it together. And so this is maybe the theme that you can think about for the 2020 show and 50th anniversary, 40th anniversary of the temple, the book, all this is that even though you are kind of mastermind behind all of this, you're not a stable genius. That's a quick jab. I couldn't help myself. That you are admitting that this is something that is a collaborative effort, right? Even though, the spark of things start, you have to work with other people, right?
You absolutely have to work with other people, which is why throughout the podcast, I've been telling everybody, like my casting crew, kudos to them. I am easy to work with in the fact that I give very clear and concise direction, and my desires are known. But it is not easy to, like you said, make me happy. And so I'm a bit of a perfectionist. And so I definitely could not have done it without my casting crew. Obviously, it would be a very boring show if it were just me. But the collaborative effort part is by far a lot more enjoyable as well. Like watching the show with everybody at the theater and experiencing that together and knowing we all had our blood, sweat, and tears together, and this cheering and looking at the screen saying, wow, it's done. Like that's far more gratifying anyway. Like why do something for yourself by yourself, right? It's so much more meaningful to have a collaborative effort. So it was definitively a collaborative effort, but and again, from just pure love and honor by my cast and crew. And so huge kudos to them. And I know Grandmaster Chan, Master Susie, and CJ Tina, they were thrilled with the surprise. They got to see the show. They were so excited. They were overwhelmed. They're still talking about it. So They really haven't gotten to see it again. Even the cast and crew, they got to kind of get that one viewing, but I feel like they wanted to see it. Like if I had said, "Hey, you want to play it again?" I think everyone would have said yes, because you just want to be able to kind of see each thing, right? And so it's absolutely a collaboration. Couldn't do it without you, keeping me sane.
Right. Here to clean dishes and bathrooms anytime that's needed.
Both very essential things. Very, very essential. So, You're an essential worker.
It's great. So that's all I've got.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. And please mark your calendar this Saturday, November 7, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. World premiere on YouTube, Wah Lum Films. The link will be here. Like it and share it. Please keep following us on social media. That way you can kind of hear about all the good stuff. We were posting a lot of cool behind the scenes stuff. And thank you so much. This was a lot of fun, Oscar.
Likewise. It was my pleasure.
All right. And until next time, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening to Culture Chat and hope you enjoyed the conversation. Please subscribe and rate my podcast. Feel free to leave me suggestions or send an email to mimi@culturechatpodcast.com or follow me on social media at Sifu Mimi Chan on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook.